Hey folks, good evening. We've got another installment on the Red Book of Magic. We're in Spirit Magic spells and we're still doing, rules stuff, right? We're not into spells yet. Yeah, I admit, sometimes I'm kind of geeky and I do this stuff. That's okay. I just reviewed my last one just to see where it was actually stopped to make sure I knew where to start. Okay, new category, resistance roll, right? This is big red bold, so it's a total category by itself. Should be up front with not rune magic, before rune magic, right? Where we've got spell terminology. No, nothing here says anything about resistance rolls because we still do resistance rolls with some rune spells, right? Because you put your magic points into it to do over their power and all that kind of good stuff, right? Okay, so involuntary targets gets resist. Overcoming their will, power versus power. It's called the resistance roll. Okay. You can augment your chance of success with a resistance roll by using an appropriate ability. Remember last time I talked about ability would mean something? What appropriate ability do we use to augment resistance roll spellcasting? I don't know. I obviously would I would apply, runes, passions, um, I don't know about skills though. But when we talked about ability before, it was power times 5. Spell casting abilities, right? Doesn't apply here. Okay. It also says that through the use of the meditate skill, it says to see increasing chance of success on page 6. Okay. Spell strike rank, new category. Well, next category. Okay, determine when to determine the strike rank which a spell is cast. Dex strike rank plus magic points, ignoring the first, and adding any boosting magic points. Now, am I Glorantha? I forget about that whole except the first. It's one strike rank. Is it really going to matter that much? And no, we're not subtracting. We're just adding. That's just me. Okay. Now here's something I don't recall from before. If the spellcaster's concentration is broken by a sudden or unexpected way, for example, taking damage, before they finish the spell, they cannot cast the spell and must try again. They don't get to make a concentration roll. Why not? We do concentration rolls for active spells, and even though you take damage or whatever happens, you have to try again. No magic points are lost. Okay. Next category, spell limits. Okay, most spells are either instant or passive. So once you cast a spell, you don't have to pay attention to it at all because if it's instant, it happens then. If it's passive, it does its thing for the duration. So if you demoralize somebody, they're demoralized for the duration, even if you get killed. There are a few spells that are active, such as Control, Dark Wall, Fireblade, Light Wall, and Summon. So they require concentration. And again, that's intelligence times 3, which we've run across before. It says, in these cases, a concentration roll may be required. I think that may deals with you took damage. Or the kinds of things you do, kind of things that happen, in which case you need to make a concentration roll. Okay, next category, range. Is listed in the spell description that defines the maximum distance. And spirit magic generally has 2 ranges, touch and ranged, 50 meters. Now we just said range 50 meters, and we said the maximum distance is in the description. So when we get to those, I'm going to start looking at that. Okay. Touch does not mean you have to get past the skin and armor. Just touching the body, armor, skin, glasses, whatever. That is sufficient. Okay, next category, duration. Length of time that the effects of the spell last, as measured from the strike rank on which the spell casting was completed. Now, in the numerous combats I've run. In RQG, we have never had to worry about which strike rank the spell was cast on to see if it's still going once we get to our 2 minutes. All temporal spells last 2 minutes. Instant spells take effect on the strike rank at which they were cast. Excuse me, my goodness. Throat stuff. Okay. Certain spells have permanent effects, like disruption, extinguish, ignite, repair, or heal, right? They're permanent. Okay. Spirit magic descriptions. New category, subcategory, spell name. Well, actually, each spell is summarized in the same way. They give you an example, right? Spell name, magic point cost, casting range, duration, spell effect, the spell description, including the area effect. You know, that's the snapshot of what a spell will look like in its description. Then it goes into some of the spell descriptions, includes qualifiers in parentheses, right? Like, well, I'll give you an example here. Like, shoot, detect. There we go. Detect gold. Detect iron. Detect magic, right? Detect life. Although detect life and magic are separate spells completely, but we've got detect substance, right? Which can include any kind of substance. What else do we have? Control entity, right? You control air elemental, control wraith, control. Are all animal spirits locked together as animal spirits? And is that separate from plant spirits? Could it be just control spirits? I think control spirits is way too broad. I would not necessarily have an issue with control animal spirits, even though they list all the different kinds of animal spirits, because a spider spirit does different things than a large carnivore mammal spirit. Maybe I could get that type though. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Okay. Well, let's talk about a sense. Where's the sense one? I don't see anything else. Summon entity. That's like control entity. I don't see anything different there. There's a substance. I do not see anything about a sense, but they mentioned sense here. Okay, oh, here we go. Common substances. Here we go. Here's a whole list of them: gold, silver, copper, sapphire, iron, coal, tin, emerald, fire, diamond. No, fire, then diamond. Earth, air, wood, leather, stone, cotton, brick, bronze, water, bone, glass, quartz, and darkness are common substances. They'll have application for those kinds of things. Why they're in this order and make no sense whatsoever to me is beyond me. Okay. And, of course, there are other substances that exist, so you can make special spells for that. Now, I had a question here about this being a new section, but it is continue with describing different things in the spell. So this section being Spirit Magic Descriptions lists and describes. Nope, I was wrong. I was right the first time. We need a new subcategory here. Spirit Magic Spells. This section lists and describes the commonly available Spirit Magic spells in alphabetical order. Spells of 250 lunars or less are considered common and are easily taught. Spells that cost greater than that are uncommon and are typically secrets of a specific cult. To teach an uncommon spell, a shaman must first undergo a quest to the spirit world to find that spirit. I think he needs to go on a quest into the spirit world to find any spirit he wants to learn the spell from, whether it's common or not. You still got to go through the process, right? Okay. Let's stop there. But before I do that, comprehension, variable spell, 100 lunars per point. So 1 point is common, 2 points is common, 3 is not, according to our just definition. Conceal item is not. Face of Lambril is not, and obviously a cult special spell, right? Fireblade is not. Forget is not. Lightwall is not. Seek Sundone Temple is not. Sleep is not. Everything else. Oh, I missed multi-missile. Multi-missile is 100 lunars per point. So 1 and 2 are common, but 3 is not. All the rest of them are less than that, or 250 or less as a set cost, or they're 50 lunars per point for the variable spells, which is 1 is common, 2 is common, 3 is common, 4 is common, 5 is common, 6 is not. Now, I have my own way of doing that in my Glorantha. Happy gaming.